dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Saturday, March 30th. Breaking news out of Laurel County this morning. The Laurel County Coroner's Office was called to a house fire on Breams Lane at approximately 12:22 a.m. The coroner tells us a child has died. The child's name is not yet released. We're told a Kentucky State Police arson investigator has been called to the scene as well. The cause of the fire is not known at this time. No other injuries have been reported. We'll continue to update the story on WYMT.com as we learn more information. And now let's check in with meteorologist Paige Noel for a look at your forecast this morning. Paige?
It's looking pretty good out there, Taylor. Actually quiet this morning, which is some good news, and don't get used to it because we're going to see that change pretty quickly. But if you look at our Moorhead camera, you'll notice a pretty quiet overall. Sun's starting to rise a little bit as well. And as we're looking out the front porch, we're seeing those clouds here at the station. Temperatures into the lower 50s, so actually pretty comfortable outside. Like I said, just those calm conditions. And we're seeing warm temperatures across most of our area, a little bit warmer up into the Big Sandy region. People waking up into the upper 50s to maybe even 60 over into Prestonsburg, upper 40s down into Harlan, and those mid 50s for the most part down into the Cumberland Valley. Now, as we look at satellite and radar, you'll notice those clouds, but they're going to start to break as we head, especially into the afternoon hours. A few showers overnight. Not all of that was actually touching the ground, but as we head throughout the rest of today, you'll notice that pretty warm for your Sunday. We're going to see showers and storms move in tonight as a cold front moves in, and of course that means cold air arrives. We're also under a freeze watch, believe it or not. We'll talk about that and more coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, thank you, Paige. The Cardiac Cats were back in full form last night after narrowly escaping Auburn. WYMT's Will Puckett has more reaction from fans.
It was a game that seemed like its most important byline would be the return of P.J. Washington. However, now Kentucky fans across the nation and across the world are saying we need a hero after Tyler Hero wins the game for Kentucky. It was a three-point shot that gave the Cats a lead in the waning moments against Houston that would seal the victory here inside the Sprint Center. And even though it looked like all faith was lost and Kentucky was heading for a second straight exit in the Sweet 16, Big Blue Nation was ecstatic following Kentucky's Sweet 16 win that now gives them a berth in the Elite Eight.
Oh my God, we're so excited we can't stand it.
Oh my gosh, it was like close game. I was sweating, but this is the real fan.
Amazing.
Woo, thank God Tyler made that three.
I love the Cats, man. We're ready to beat Auburn for the third time Sunday.
No, I did not. I saw Hero hit that three. It was over. I saw Hero hit that three. It was the best thing.
I mean, that's the buzzer beater. I mean, you win it. That's all you need to go.
Big Blue, go Big Blue, go Big Blue.
And I thought it was a great game. Kentucky played well the first half, second half. Second half, they struggled a little bit, but pulled it off at the end. Tyler Hero played a big game.
Tyler is my hero. I would just say that, and that man is a bucket. And his defense?
2:20 Sunday afternoon on WYMT. For the third time this season, Kentucky versus Auburn. One SEC team will be in the Final Four. Inside the Sprint Center, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Will and Marcus will continue our coverage from Kansas City later this afternoon. And barbecue is a big deal in Kansas City, where the Cats played last night. And WYMT's Will Puckett had the difficult assignment of sampling some of the best barbecue in the city. The place he takes you to is at a gas station, where the line was out the door.
For 23 years, Joe's Kansas City Barbecue has served it up. At, of all places, a gas station, because the owners, Jeff and Joy Staney, wanted a place close to their home.
They knew they wanted to be close to their, to the restaurant where they worked, knowing that they were going to be putting in 18-hour days. But the barbecue doesn't cause gas, so.
500 slabs of ribs a day. Pork butts cooked for 17 hours using Missouri white oak. So what is Kansas City barbecue? Well, it's Memphis and Carolina and Texas barbecue all in one place.
And they've all found a second home here. And we've got our own way of cooking. It's low and slow. We've got our own style of sauce, which is a tomato and molasses-based sauce. It's sweet, it's robust.
So they tell me the secret to this barbecue is in the rub. Salts and all kinds of peppers and garlic powder, just to name a few things. This is their signature sandwich. This is the Z-Man, which has got onion rings and brisket and provolone cheese. Man, that is awesome. Oh, that's so good. National award-winning barbecue here, but UK fans, you really can't go wrong with any one of the some 100 barbecue restaurants in this town.
We didn't invent barbecue, we just perfected it.
Hi! How are you?
The owners have 3 locations in Kansas City and have had many offers to franchise or sell, but have turned them all down. They say they want to stay authentic by staying in their gas station. And the potential strike involving ARH employees is no more. Representatives from the United Steelworkers Union say the tentative agreement they reached Wednesday has officially been ratified. About 65% of the nearly 2,200 ARH union employees voted in favor of the deal. The contract will last 3 years and will take effect April 1st. And recent restrictions for visitors at UK Hospital are set to be lifted next week. Restrictions were put in place at the beginning of February after a sudden spike in the flu cases. UK Healthcare says those rules will be lifted starting Monday, April 1st. Officials say while they're seeing a decrease in positive flu cases, the Warren, Kentucky is still seeing widespread flu activity. And a significant ruling yesterday is making many former Eric C. Kahn clients feel a sense of optimism. Remember, last November, judges with the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Social Security Administration's redetermination hearings were unconstitutional. Yesterday, that ruling was upheld. WYMT's Justin Case talked with former Kahn clients and their attorney about what this means moving forward.
It's been a nearly 4-year battle. Former Eric C. Kahn clients have been forced into redetermination hearings to get their benefits back. Unfortunately, things like suicide, homelessness, and financial hardships have fallen on many of them.
We have, I think, a bright light at the end of the tunnel that finally they'll get their benefits back, and that these horrific hearings they went through, which the 6th Circuit ruled were unconstitutional, they will become a memory of the past.
Robert Martin is a former Kahn client. Even with physical disabilities and cancer, he fought to make it to hearings across the state, only to have his benefits taken away. He didn't think he'd live to see this day.
I ain't got no money, but I've had to get money to do all this running around. You know, it's been a nightmare. This May will be 4 years this has been going on.
Because the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against looking at their November ruling once more, the ruling that the redetermination hearings are unconstitutional will stand.
There's actually good hope. You know, they won this hearing in the 6th Circuit, and that means more than likely these people will get their benefits back.
Ned Pillersdorf says other judges who are ruling over cases involving former Eric C. Kahn clients are looking at this case closely. He says this ruling likely helps the 800 others who also had their benefits taken away.
He was not going to do anything in the case till he saw how the Hicks case was finally resolved. So that's a very good indication that today's ruling not only affects the 13 who won, but will logically affect the 800 who lost their benefits.
Having to fight because of the greed of one man.
The Social Security Administration now has 90 days to appeal the ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court. If they are successful, or if the Supreme Court does not take the case, the 6th Circuit's ruling will be final. And the Clay County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in finding a thief. Take a look at these pictures. Deputies say this truck pulled up to a storage unit on Highway 638. The driver allegedly broke into the unit and made off with a 2014 Harley Davidson. You can see plastic draped over the paneling of the vehicle to conceal its color. There also appears to be cardboard cutouts placed over the license plate. Anyone with information on the theft is asked to call Clay County Sheriff's Office at 606-598-3471. In Laurel County, a man is charged after an undercover child sex crimes investigation. Troopers arrested Andrew Dick. He was arrested as part of an undercover operation. Troopers say he uploaded files showing child exploitation. Dick was taken to the Laurel County Detention Center. He's being charged with 10 counts of possession of child pornography. And breakfast lovers, be careful. That's not sugar on your cereal. Police in California confiscated children's cereal boxes filled with cocaine Thursday. An officer made the unusual discovery when he pulled over 45-year-old Jose Cardenas. He was just going to write a ticket for illegally tinted windows, but searched the car when he suspected criminal activity. What he found was 3 cereal boxes, each stuffed with 1 kilogram of cocaine. That's about $250,000 worth in total. Police arrested Cardenas and booked him into jail. Attorney General William Barr announced Friday the nearly 400-page Mueller report on the Russia investigation will be made public in the next couple weeks. As President Trump does a victory lap over the report, he's vowing again to shut down the U.S. border with Mexico to stem the flow of undocumented immigrants. CBS News correspondent Mola Lenghi has more from Palm Beach, Florida, where the president is staying at his Mar-a-Lago estate.
With Democrats demanding the release of the Mueller report, Attorney General William Barr announced he plans to send a redacted version to Congress by mid-April or sooner.
If that's what he'd like to do, I have nothing to hide. This was a hoax. This was a witch hunt.
The president has not seen the report, and it will not be shared with the White House in advance. Barr sent a 4-page letter to Congress on Sunday that says the report did not find that Mr. Trump or his aides colluded with Russia during the 2016 election, but it did not exonerate him of obstruction of justice. Barr made the call and said there was insufficient evidence. President Trump spent much of the week declaring victory.
Total exoneration. Complete vindication.
The president is also renewing his threat to close all or part of the southern border with Mexico. And this time, he has provided a timeline.
So there's a very good likelihood that I'll be closing the border next week, and that'll be just fine with me.
As his administration warns of a crisis at the border, President Trump says 2 new migrant caravans are making their way up from Guatemala.
Massive caravans walking right through Mexico. So Mexico's tough. They can stop them, but they chose not to.
He again blamed Democrats for border security issues.
Congress has to fix our broken immigration laws. We're the laughing stock all over the world.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen wants to allow Central Americans to apply for U.S. asylum while still in their home countries. She urged Congress to act immediately. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, Palm Beach, Florida.
Attorney General Barr says he intends to testify before lawmakers on May 1st and 2nd. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a drone conference continues through the weekend in Hazard. 3 keynote speakers are expected to make an appearance. We'll tell you who coming up.
And showers and storms move in this evening with cooler air to follow. We'll break down that full forecast coming up next.